Hey girlies, it's your girl BP, and today we are doing a soft glam. Now let's get into it. So y'all know when a person comes sits in my chair, I automatically become their therapist and they become my client. So today we're doing a soft glam on this young lady, and I'm working on her eyes. I am trying to shape the way I would like for her brows to sit and to form. And so I'm using a brow pencil in the color Chocolate Mousse by Morphe. And I'm just lining her eyes here and just trying to get the shape that I'm looking for. As you can see, she's talking and she looks very disturbed. And so I'm letting her get out everything that she needs to say because she had a lot to say during this session. So I'm just shading in her brows to give it a nice ombre effect to make it look very natural and very shapy to fit her face. And so after I shade it in, I move to the other side where I create this same look so that it's very symmetrical. And I'm just lining her brows here once again to give the shape that I would like for her face. So she's giving me a hard time because as I'm trying to align her brows, she keeps talking, and I need for her to stop talking, because if she does not stop talking, I can't give her a great shape. She's going to make the shape crooked. So I told her, hey, just ease up on the talking. And so I'm shading in the brows, and I am in the inner corner of her eye, just trying to give that ombre look. And so I used a brush to kind of move back and forth to give that ombre look. So now we are going in with the concealer under her eye. I like to go a couple of shades lighter so that it looks like a nice arched brow, but this shade, I can't lie, it looks a little too light. I probably went too light, but you know, as a makeup artist, sometimes we experiment with colors and we make mistakes. However, in the end, I'll make the look come together. And so I do it to both sides, but then I go in with a darker shade in the inner corner of her eye, so that I kind of make the inner corner match this color of her skin. Again, I just want to, okay, so she had a big pimple on her face and I rubbed it and it irritated her, so she grabbed my hand. So I want to go in the inner corner of her eye with a darker shade, a complexion that's a little bit more of her color, again just to accentuate that her brows are arched, and it gives that arched effect as if she had just gone to the salon to get her eyebrows done. We literally talked the entire time. Well, let me just say she talked the entire time, but it was okay because I was a listening ear and I gave my advice whenever she needed, and I put my 2 cents in whenever I felt necessary, but it was all good. Love her. Next, I will go on top to just create a really clean look and use the same color that I used on the inner corner of her eye. And I'm taking my time here to make sure that I don't miss any areas, because I want it to have a very clean look. And so I kind of just go up with the brush to give it space so that when I blend, it'll be easier to blend. And now I take my brush to the other side of her face to create the same effect and to line those brows the same way I did the right side of her face. This just pretty much cleans up the brow and just gives it a very clean look. And so I'm doing the same with the brush for that. Now I'm blending in the product, the concealer. I'm just going back and forth with the brush, tapping it, giving it a little swirl, and just blending it in so that we can have a seamless look and it doesn't look cakey or cloudy or just like too much makeup. So I'll blend in the bottom really well, and I'll blend the two colors together, and you can see that it's coming together very well. And then I move to the top and blend in the top concealer with her skin. Sometimes blending can take a while because you don't want your makeup to look cakey, so the more you blend, the more it looks natural. And I'm all for a natural girly, okay? So after the blend, I go in with one of my base colors. It's kind of like a orangish, it's kind of like a yellow brownish orange color, but I use that for my base before I even put any colors on my eyes. And so I'm basing the other eye with that color, just going in all over it to give it like a little depth. I call it depth that I'm giving it, and the base gives it that before I go in with the color or the choice of color that the client wants. And so the color that she was wearing was a purplish pinkish color, and so I go in with a purple color and I tap and pat because I need the color to stand out and I need it to be very pigmented. You want to tap the product or pat the product into the eye, and I'm also going in with a lighter shade like the pinkish color to blend in with the purple. But I don't pack this product in. I'm kind of blending it in because I want it to blend into the next color. So I initially tapped and pat the purple product into her eye because I wanted that more solid and more pigmented. But then I take the pink and I blend that in. You'll see me blending a lot because the more you blend, it just gives a very like pristine look, like a natural seamless look. So I encourage all of my beauties, all of my girlies to just blend, like keep blending, because it just makes the makeup look so flawless. And so I'll keep blending and blending because I want that dark deep purple on the bottom of her lash line to go up into the pink like seamlessly. So you'll see me just blending and blending. One of my favorite parts, highlighting, I'm taking a lighter color concealer and going in the inner corners of her eyes and the outer corner of her eyes with my MAC palette, my MAC Conceal Contour palette. And there are many ways that you can conceal under the eye or highlight, as you want to call it, under the eye. So this is just a different method I decided to try, where I conceal in the inner corner of her eye and then the outer corner going up. There is another method I would use to just conceal under totally under the eye, but I chose to do it a different way. I kind of switch up with my clients and try new methods because I like to try new things, and that's just me. If I don't try anything, I won't ever know. So I like to learn and try new things. As you see, I am putting more under the eye. I love this color on her skin. It's going to be a nice color once it comes out all together. So now I am going to take my contour, a darker color on the same palette, and just go around her forehead to give it a natural look. I keep saying this natural look, but that's just what it is. Like, I want to make her face with makeup look the same way it would look without makeup. So I have to go in those areas and put those dark or contoured spaces and create those spaces in her face so that it can give that same effect. Here we are, back to blending. I am blending the concealer into her face. I'm tapping lightly under her eye because I want to make sure I get as close as possible to her under eyelid. Yes, she's still talking. She has a lot to get off her chest and vent about, and so I'm still listening. And so I'm blending and blending. You want to blend the concealer very much into the skin so that it's very smooth. And we'll do this by just tapping lightly. After all of the blending, I set her face with powder, and now I'm ready for her lips. So I'll let her drink her tea because she has a lot of tea to give today. I've already cleaned her lips, but I am going to apply a primer over her lips to set her lips before I line them and gloss them. And so now I'm lining with a lipstick that I crushed up and put into a palette because it's easier to use crushed lipstick than to use it out of the case. And so I'll line the lips with a brush, a very flat brush, a flat pointed brush. I'll line the lips with a dark chocolate color because I'm going for an ombre look on her lips. I'll line the top and then I'll line the bottom, and I'll kind of blend that in a little. I want to make sure the line is very nice and rich. And then I'm going in with a nude color, and I'm applying that inside of the lining of her lips. And I want to get a good amount in there at the bottom because I need it to be pigmented, and once she begins to pop her lips, it's going to kind of fade away. So I want to get that in. So I'll have her pop her lips a few times, and then I'll go back in to make sure like all of her lips are covered and there is no areas left undone. The lips are one of my favorite parts, especially because I love like how ombre lips come together. So you'll see me working on them and having her pop, coming back, lining them again, putting more cream in the inside because I love to work with lips. So it's gonna take me a while to get this hair, but she's a beautiful girl and I had a great time doing her makeup. But I just need her lips to like stand out. And honestly, the lips have been something that I kind of have been working on for a while because there's different ways to apply your liner and lipstick. And now here I'm just applying a gloss to her lips so that this whole look can come together, okay? To see this finished look, go visit my Instagram page, Pearl Greer Makeup.